We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Hilda Ngomano. Coming up, police arrest 9 more people suspected to have taken part in mob justice scandals in Chikwawa and in Nsanje districts. Government intensifies efforts to retrieve Malawi's cultural artifacts currently held in foreign countries as part of preserving the country's heritage. And FCB Nyasa Big Bullets go top of the FDH Bank Premiership standings after defeating defending champions Mighty Wanderers in Lilongwe. Welcome back. Police have arrested 9 more people suspected to have taken part in mob justice scandals that have happened in Chikwawa and in Nsanje districts. The new arrest brings the total number to 14. Deputy Police Publicist Alfred Chintere says health officials have dismissed false genital disappearance claims that led to the brutal killing of 4 people. Some of the arrested suspects are Boniface Baker, Clement Kaduya, Precious Kaduya, Shadrack Sande, Chisomo Elias, Jeremiah Esaya, Edward Fatsani, Nelson Anderson, and Beatrice Geoffrey. More in our subsequent bulletins. Principal Secretary responsible for industrialization in the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Business and Tourism, Dr. Bright Molande, has commended the Malawi Federation of Cooperatives, MAFECO, for its commitment to promoting the growth and sustainability of cooperatives in the country. He made the remarks during 2026 Cooperative Fair held at the Chichiri Trade Fair grounds in Blantyre. Arthur Chokoto reports.
Speaking during the corporate fair held under the theme Cooperatives Empower Women in Transforming Agri-Food Systems, Molande described cooperatives as key drivers of inclusive economic growth and Malawi's industrialization agenda. He called on citizens, civil society organizations and government institutions to work together in raising awareness on the critical role women play in agri-food systems and to support investments that empower women farmers.
Government is very active in making sure that we must all understand as Malawians that women are very important in agriculture and cooperatives and industrialization. But let me also call upon the civil society. One of their jobs is advocacy. The civil society must create programs for advocating the place of women in agriculture, in industrialization and development. The Ministry of Industrialization, Business, Trade and Tourism has engaged major funders in this country. We are talking about big companies like NICO, Old Mutual, Press Corporation, and such companies who are in stock of huge funds. So we have agreed and they have accepted to put their money, to invest their money in production.
MAFECO Executive Director John Mlangeni described cooperatives as central to Malawi's industrialization drive and called for increased government support to the sector. He said MAFECO continues to empower cooperative members, strengthen institutions and promote inclusive economic development through advocacy, capacity building, market linkages and policy support.
Taking advantage of the fair, this year the UN has designated it that it is an international year of a woman farmer. And from the cooperative perspective, we've known that the role that is played by most women farmers is not appreciated. Hence the organization of this fair to showcase what the woman farmer can be able to do. That's why you've seen that in their limited capacities, they are able to add value to certain products, which we still feel that if they were to improve, they can still do better. But the limiting factors sometimes is the ownership for them to raise adequate capital, but also sometimes build the infrastructure, proper infrastructures for them to have where they can process things that are up to.
Representatives from UN Women and UK-based organization Our Corp also attended the fair, highlighting growing international collaboration with the cooperative movement. Arthur Chokoto, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Department of Arts and the Minister of Sports, Youth and Culture says government is intensifying efforts to retrieve Malawi's cultural artifacts currently held in foreign countries as part of preserving the country's heritage and history. Speaking during the opening of the 3-day Art in the Park Festival in Lilongwe, Deputy Director of Arts, McDonald Malwaya, said the return of the artifacts would help safeguard Malawi's cultural identity for future generations.
During the Art in the Park Festival's virtual arts exhibition in Lilongwe, artists raised concerns over Malawi's artifacts being kept abroad, saying the country's history and identity are embedded in such cultural treasures and should be returned home. Deputy Director of Arts McDonald Malwaya said government is working closely with relevant stakeholders to facilitate the repatriation of the artifacts as part of the efforts to preserve Malawi's cultural heritage and identity.
Malawi is ready and we are aware of that. Indeed, we've lost quite a lot of treasure in form of artifacts. They are spread all over across the globe, and through the National Commission for UNESCO and other international bodies, we are geared to retrieving them through the Department of Museums and Monuments.
Malwaya further said the government has introduced measures aimed at ensuring local artists benefit from their creative works while contributing to the growth of the country's creative industry. Chief Executive Officer of Standard Bank Malawi, Philip Madinga, urged stakeholders to support locally produced artworks and materials to create more opportunities for Malawian artists.
Malawians that are out there, those of you that are watching us, please come and support these young artists. We've got beautiful art here from a number of women, young people, females, male, and it's an opportunity for you to come through and buy some of this beautiful art. What we do every year, apart from providing the financing for the Art in the Park, is also we identify a few artifacts that we purchase.
The annual Art in the Park Festival is organized by Wildlife and Environmental Society of Malawi, WESM, and this year's 12th edition has attracted more than 40 visual artists using art to promote environmental conservation and wildlife protection. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Women Caucus, Mary Kimball, has urged female learners in the country to remain focused in their education and seek guidance whenever they face challenges affecting their mental well-being. Kimball made the remarks in Lilongwe at Nkwiji Secondary School. Olive Piri reports.
The student player session organized by Lilongwe City Malawi Secondary School Head Teachers Association (MASHA) brought together female learners from various schools in Lilongwe. During the gathering, Chairperson of the Parliamentary Women Caucus, Mary Kimball, said the event was important as it united girls from different schools to receive spiritual guidance, encouragement, and mentorship. Kimball highlighted that many girls go through various challenges because they lack proper guidance, counseling, and support systems. She called upon communities and institutions, including the church, to support and create a space for women and girls to thrive as leaders.
You know, when somebody knows the word of God, they feel seen. Most of the times, girls go through a lot of challenges because they don't know what they are doing. It has been so beneficial today because all pastors were here, us like politicians were also there. There are mothers who are there as advisors so that girls should continue with their education.
For her part, Chairperson for Lilongwe City Malawi Secondary School Head Teachers Association (MASHA), Alice Majankono, said they organized the prayer session to preach a message of hope and strength to female learners so that they can overcome challenges whenever they face difficult situations in life.
You know, in this world where we are living, there are a lot of things that are happening on a daily basis. So on part of our students, it's very important that the students should know God. They should grow having the knowledge of who God is and what does God do in their lives.
The student player session started in 2023 to help students grow spiritually and to remind them of the importance of good behavior in schools. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
This is NBC News, a reminder of our top stories this morning. Police arrest 9 more people suspected to have taken part in mob justice scandals in Chikwawa and in Sanje districts. Government intensifies efforts to retrieve Malawi's cultural artifacts, currently held in foreign countries, as part of preserving the country's heritage. And in sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets got top of the FDH Bank Premiership standings after defeating defending champions Mighty Wanderers in Lilongwe. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has confirmed that the remains of Malawians who died in a tragic road accident in Zimbabwe will be repatriated to Malawi today. According to a press release issued by the ministry, the remains are expected to arrive at Kamoso Stadium in Blantyre at around 4 o'clock this afternoon, where a solemn ceremony will be conducted before the bodies are taken to their respective homes for burial. The ceremony will be led by Chief Secretary to the government, Dr. Justin Saidi, who will be accompanied by other dignitaries and senior government officials. The Malawian nationals lost their lives in a road accident that occurred in Zimbabwe on Tuesday, May 5, 2026. The Roman Catholic Church has encouraged Christians to practice love, unity and self-reliance as path to spiritual growth. Archbishop of Blantyre Archdiocese Thomas Luke Msusa was speaking during the launch of a fundraising at St. Pius Church Building and Father's Rectory projects in Blantyre. Tasson Magombo with the report.
Presiding over the launch, Archbishop Msusa urged parishioners to ensure timely completion of the church, noting that delays may increase costs and deny the community of proper place of worship. Addressing the congregation, Msusa tied the project to 3 Christian values: unity, love, and self-reliance.
I'm so glad, so happy, so excited. As Thomas, I believe when I see and touch. When I initiated this activity, this project in the past, I thought things would not take place. But I've come to today and I've seen what the people are doing. The local people, the owner of this parish, they are doing a lot, they have done a lot, they have contributed whatever they have. And the project has started. So today we want just to continue this project. I would like to thank the parishioners, the parish priests, and the other priests, the sisters, and the parishioners of St. Pius Parish. They are doing a lot. They are contributing whatever they have.
Additionally, Chairperson for St. Pius Parish, Oswald Mumba, commended the fundraising committee and appealed for contributions from individuals, families, and corporate partners to help with additional resources to speed up the construction work.
Come forth with whatever you have. Let me start with the well-wishers. We got people that can just walk in and help us with. We got so many campaigns that we are doing. Buy a block for building the church. They can bring bags of cement. We'll be starting roofing shortly. People can buy steel, can buy the iron sheets for us. But to the corporate road, we say we can partner with them.
St. Pius Parish, located in Blantyre, has outgrown its current church as the Catholic population in the area continues to rise. The new structure is expected to accommodate more worshippers and host community programs. Toson Magombo, NBC News, Blantyre.
In a related development, the clergy has been urged to take an active role in partnering with government to implement different initiatives that are crucial at promoting the socio-economic development of the nation. Minister of Transport Japi Mhango, who is also the Vice President for the Democratic Progressive Party DPP in the Northern Region, made the appeal at the opening ceremony of St. Joseph Catholic Church at Mhujo in Rumpi District. Jackson Sichali with the report.
Underscoring different developmental initiatives that the church contribute to the development of the nation, parliamentarian for Rumpi North, who is also the vice president of the ruling DPP in the Northern Region, Japi Mhango, said there is need of continued support from different stakeholders if the country is to realize its dream. Mhango said the Catholic Church has contributed much to the development of the nation in areas of health and education, citing the construction of schools and hospitals as an example. He said this is pivotal in helping the government attaining its mission of making sure that citizens are healthy and well educated.
His Excellency the President of this country, Professor Thapita Mutharika, has always emphasized on the need for all state actors to work together, to work in unison. And therefore, the Roman Catholic Church is one such key partner that has always and will always support government endeavors. The Catholic Church is a very, very important partner because the Church provides education to our citizens. That complements government's efforts in making sure that we have got an educated population. The Church provides healthcare facilities, hospitals, pretty much in line with government policies.
Speaking after the opening ceremony of the church, Father John Benjamin Moyo of St. Denis Parish said drilling Christians in the work of God is crucial in promoting moral behaviors, hence helping build a peaceful nation.
The opening of the church signifies the growth of the church, and the church believes in Christ, and Christ taught us to love one another. So the more we can have Christians who are committed to the church and believe in Christ, the more we can have less evil in the society. Because Christ taught us to love one another and to take care of one another and to take care of those who are in need.
St. Joseph Catholic Church at Mhuju started in 1978. During the service, Christians celebrated the opening of the new church with songs of praise to the Lord, among others. Jackson Sejali, MBC, Rumpi.
The Ministry of Health has awarded Mangochi District Health Office a 3-star rating for quality client service delivery in the 2025-2026 assessment cycle. Making the announcement during an award presentation ceremony to best performing health workers at Mangochi District Hospital, Director of Health and Social Services Dr. Henry Chibowa said the award is a huge motivation to staff to continue delivering quality health care. Dave Umar reports.
In his remarks, Dr. Chibowa said Mangochi District Health Office has been recognized for reducing maternal deaths to a single digit as well as achieving a cholera-free year 2025-2026, signifying great effort in improving health service delivery in the district. He also said in the 2025-2026 Ministry of Health Quality Client Service Delivery Assessment, Mangochi District Hospital Laboratory has scooped a 4-star rating.
Our plan is not to maintain this status quo. We want to improve even further. We want to move from 3-star to 5-star accreditation for the district hospital, and we want to move the lab from 4-star to 5-star. And as you saw, the commitment that was given by the council chair and the DC, who have supported us in this journey, and they have pledged to continue supporting us even further. We are very certain that we are going to achieve this because we have that enormous support from both the councillors, the MPs, and the entire leadership of the district.
As a way of celebrating the rating, District Commissioner for Mangochi, Rodney Smaka, awarded individual health workers for their dedication and outstanding performance. The award recipients described the gesture as a great motivation.
I'm a very punctual person, and when I'm in the ward, I make sure that I do everything according to the way things are. We manage the patients, so through procedures. That's why I think maybe people have recognized me, because I'm always, every time when I am at work, I make sure that each and every patient that I receive, it should be cared for and make sure that it's discharged.
Lab officer James Stambuli said good policies are what are taking the hospital to greater heights.
At first, it's like we constituted the system, okay? So this system, whatever we do, we don't operate outside that system, okay? So that's why Mangochi Lab is now rated higher than the other labs.
Some departments, such as the pharmaceutical, water, sanitation and hygiene, as well as maternal care, were also rewarded for their outstanding performance. Dave Umar, MBC News, Mangochi.
The Department of Forestry has challenged traditional leaders and faith leaders to actively support government efforts in conserving environment in the country. Deputy Director for the department, Ted Kamoto, made the remarks in Mangochi during the official closing ceremony of a training workshop aimed to capacitate the local leaders on their roles and responsibilities in conserving environment in the districts of Mangochi and Ncheu. Sotin Ndazi has compiled this report, read by Owen Mavula.
As the country continues to experience deforestation challenges, the Department of Forestry is actively exploring strategies aimed at conserving the environment. These efforts include engagement with local leaders to protect and manage resources sustainably. For instance, in Mangochi, the department brought together traditional and faith leaders to equip them with knowledge on how best they can become champions of environmental conservation efforts in their respective areas. Speaking during the official closing of the training, Deputy Director for the Department of Forestry, Ted Kamoto, noted that traditional and faith leaders play an important role in the management of forests and natural resources through their influence as leaders.
Traditional leaders, is their role to interface with their communities in various developmental aspects. Faith leaders, they interface with people on various religious activities. And therefore, we take cognizance of the fact that if we are to interface with communities, these are the people that can help us reach out. Now, when you look at Mangochi, we didn't have a forum for traditional leaders. We didn't have a forum for faith leaders. So we thought it would be good that we create that forum so that we have a forum where chiefs in Mangochi can meet and discuss natural resources challenges and come up with maybe implementation plans that government can support.
On his part, Ncheu District Interfaith Action Committee Chairperson Bishop Moffat Lichapa commended the Department of Forestry for involving the faith leaders to be part of the cause.
Our role is to make sure that we mobilize all our congregations. We need to sensitize them to make sure that they are taking care for our environment.
Another participant, Senior Chief Nankumba of Mangochi, observed that issues of environmental conservation require a multi-sectoral approach among different players at all levels. The training workshop brought together 55 participants from Mangochi and Ncheu.
Finally, in sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets have moved to the summit of the 2026 FDH Bank Premiership standings with 7 points after defeating crosstown rivals Mighty Wanderers 2-1 in a thrilling Blantyre derby played at Bingo National Stadium in Lilongwe City. Silver Service United are second on the log table, while Silver Strikers sit third following their 1-0 defeat to Blue Eagles. Defending champions Mighty Wanderers have now suffered their first defeat of the season to drop to 9th position with 3 points. Emmanuel Chikonso reports.
The defending champions, Mighty Wanderers, suffered their first defeat of the 2026 FDH Bank Premiership season after losing 2-1 to rivals FCB Nyasa Big Bullets in a thrilling Blantyre derby at Bingo National Stadium. The match also officially launched this year's FDH Bank Premiership after the area scheduled opening fixture at Kamuzu Stadium failed to take place due to disagreement of the suitability of the venue. Blessings Mpokera gave Bullets an early lead in the 5th minute before Gaston Podo doubled the advantage in the 57th minute with a powerful header from a corner kick. Promise Kamwendo later pulled one back for Wanderers, but it was not enough to stop Bullets from securing maximum points. The victory ended Bullets' run for 4 consecutive derby defeats to Wanderers and pushed them to the top of the Premiership standings with 7 points. Civil Service United are second on the table with 7 points as well. Only goal difference separates the two teams. While Silver Strikers occupy 3rd position after their first loss to Blue Eagles in the 2026 season, Wanderers remain 9th with 3 points. Thousands of supporters patronized the encounter alongside several senior government officials who attended the official launch of the 2026 FDH Bank Premiership. Among them were Chief Secretary Justin Saidi, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Alfred Gangata, Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba, and Minister of Agriculture Rosa Fachimbirizi. In other matches played, Blue Eagles ended Silver Strikers' winning run with a 1-0 victory. Red Lions thrashed Desert Dynamos 3-0, while Kamuzu Barracks and Karonga United settled for a 1-0 draw. Emmanuel Chikonso, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Police arrest 9 more people suspected to have taken part in mob justice scandals in Chikwawa and in Sanje districts. Government intensifies efforts to retrieve Malawi's cultural artifacts, currently held in foreign countries as part of preserving the country's heritage. And in sports, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets got top of the FDH Bank Premiership standing after defeating defending champions Mighty Wanderers in Lilongwe. For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Hilda Ngomano. From all of us here, it's thanks for watching and good morning.